Today in ATS, we're continuing our road trip through California with the longest stretch yet, the full length of California Highway 1. We're going all the way up the coast from Santa Maria to Eureka. We then head east to Redding up in the mountains. There's a lot to see here today. Let's go. Well guys, welcome back to American Truck Simulator. Today we're back in our Freightshaker Cascadia. The last few videos here, we've been doing kind of a road trip around California, taking jobs and doing deliveries up and down. And today we are going all the way up Highway 1 from Santa Maria, which at least in the game, this is basically where it starts, all the way up the north coast to Redding, California, and well, up the west coast, north, to Redding, California, which is in far northern California. And I've modified the route some here. I'll show you guys the route that we're taking. I've modified the route to keep us, because I wanted, the idea of this is scenic as much as anything. This particular route is all scenic. I want to go all the way up Highway 1. I've had to modify the route quite a bit because I kept wanting to snap to the freeways, and I was like, nope. We're taking this all the way up Highway 1, this beautiful scenic coastal highway of California, all the way to Eureka, and then we're going to Redding. So it's going to be a very curvy, not the most efficient way to get there, for sure, but it's going to be really curvy and scenic. We're going to have the ocean on our left side, all the way north. It did add about 150 miles to the total trip, which, yeah, so we need to get going here. But we're starting off at 7 a.m., 7 in the a.m., perfect time to get going here. We're actually picking up exactly where we left off. In the last video, our truck was parked just right over there by that building full of truck stuff over there. Oh, there's a truck and there's something else under a cover. That's where our vehicle was parked. What I mean is this delivery, this road roller that we just picked up, we're literally picking up from the same facility where we last left off. I think we're hanging a U-turn to get out of here. So, in our fairly newish, well, new by my standards, Cascadia, and this has been a really great truck going through California. It's a smooth ride, it's a good truck, and we are all good. I got our trip reset. We should be good on sleep and fuel, so we're going 725 miles. That usually changes. Something usually happens, am I right? Something always happens that requires us to like modify, but we'll see. There's one or two stops on the way where there's like camera icon things. Let me see, is that right? Yeah, one is a video viewpoint and the second one is a camera thing, if I see them. Sometimes I miss them along the way. I'll try not to open the map too much. I want to enjoy the sights here. We've got all day. I mean, well, it's 7 a.m. so it's going to be did I turn the right way? Yeah, I turned the wrong way directly off the start. That was stupid of me. Turned the wrong way directly out of the thing. I have no idea why I turned right. Let's see here. Let's see if we can crank the wheel and turn around here. Whoops, come on, truck. Let's trying to cut it in the right place so that we can get the most out of this cul-de-sac here without injuring our trailer. Oh, come on, truck. I don't want to turn any sharper than that. Any sharper than that, I risk damaging something. All right, well, we start off with a little bit of a thing. There we go. Let's get it straightened out. All right, now we start. I'll just edit that part out. All right, now we start. Now, this right here is where we're going. And despite this slightly inauspicious start, it's going to be a good drive. We're going to have a good drive north to California. Hopefully we see some cool sights. I've traveled up this highway before. I mean, a lot of people have, but hey, I mean, those of us who don't live on the West Coast, you got to make a special trip out here, and I have done that. I took a trip out to California, and I drove up and down Highway 1. Well, I stayed out there, so I probably drove up it a few times, and it's really pretty. It's really cool. And oh, we discovered a recruitment agency. Okay. Now, I've not driven here in a few days, so I got to get used to the truck again. 725 miles. This might be a longer episode than some of the others. Yeah, because oftentimes our deliveries are you know, 400 to 500 miles ish, and usually all on the freeway. This being over 700 and being on a curvy highway, I'm just thinking ahead. This might take a little bit longer. All right, 40 miles an hour. Oh yeah, I don't know how the speed limits or anything like that's going to be. Well, California, so in general, speed limit's going to be low. But we've got a good truck to do the drive in. But I thought it'd be cool to do a drive that was the entirety of this highway. Can I get over? Yes, I can. Luckily, that car behind us is turning left. It allows us just enough time to get over here. Yeah, I wanted to do a drive up this highway. As it turns out, I mean, we just happened to be like right at the start of this highway, almost right at the start of it. And as it happens, there is a job to the Northern California, which allows us to take the route. There was only two, actually, leaving from Santa Maria. Make sure I got my speed right here. Leaving from Santa Maria, there was only two jobs to Redding, California. There was none to Eureka, and there was none to the other town up there. So there was only two to Redding, and one of them was hydrochloric acid. I kid you not. We're taking a road construction vehicle. We're taking a roller. It was either take this roller or take a trailer full of hydrochloric acid, which paid better. I don't think that a semi with a trailer of hydrochloric acid would be allowed on Highway 1. It sounds like something that is restricted to the freeways. Yeah. So I was like, yeah, we better take this one. I don't think that one would have been very immersive, right? Where's my cruise control button? There we go. All right, California. So we're setting our cruise control for 55, which is so darn slow. It's only 10 miles an hour slower than 65, obviously. But I mean, well, but the thing is, it requires a lot less distance to brake. I think that might be why they do it, like a lot less. Because we've been driving in California the last few episodes here, and I've had no issues stopping for anything. And I think I may have nailed down why that requirement, you know, why the lowered speed limit for trucks is. It's way easier to stop. Just that 10 miles an hour, it's a big difference. Why does it have us get off here going through suburbia? Well, I told it I want to drive on Highway 1. Here we are, Highway 1. Here in the game anyway, apparently this is where it starts. Or something, because they're routing us here for some reason. Probably this is the way to get onto it. I didn't really look. I clicked on it. I clicked the route on and didn't really inspect every turn as to why. But here we go. 1 North California. Turn in here. Oh, it's a pretty little town. Yeah, it's very pretty out here. 35 miles an hour. Yeah, I just thought that was funny. Hydrochloric acid. I saw that and I was like, yeah, I don't think that's something you'd see. It was a big tanker too. Like, it looked longer than your usual tanker. Like, it was, could have been my imagination, but it was a huge tanker trailer. And I was like, I don't think that's something that we'd want to take on a curvy road like that. And then it occurred to me that hazmat rules would probably apply and you wouldn't be able to. So we're going to try to make good time today. Goal is to make good time because it's many hundreds of miles. California has a long coast. I didn't think about that. Well, yeah, we're driving 725 miles and we're mostly 99% following the coast. Of course, it's very curvy. But yeah, it's crazy that you can go that you can drive that far in a straight line, you know, in one state. You know, but well, it's a very squiggly straight line, to be fair. 45 miles an hour. Now we're gonna have to pay attention to a lot of signs because there's going to be lots of lane changing and curves. Probably some cool viewpoints, I would assume. Obviously, probably some places where I'll want to have a look at the outside of the truck, you know, so we can see. I want to look at more than just the road, but yet I still want to obviously drive on the road, so I'm going to have to drive carefully. Beautiful mountains here. Yeah. And, well, Well, you know, I always say that I like to drive on these kinds of roads better than the freeways because, well, this is more like of the road trip experience here. 2-lane roads through small towns in America, but they do require you to pay a lot more attention. Yeah, so we're going to be pretty close up with traffic here going down this road. We're going to be real close with the other traffic. Good view from out here. Whoa, 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 whoa. Yep, I'm trying to steer nice and carefully. Well, it's pretty, but, you know, it's just much harder to drive like that. It's just much, much harder to drive like that, especially around curves. Oddly, especially around low-speed curves is where, because right there, when I was in the third person, I kind of swerved the truck a bit. Low-speed curves are harder in that view because, I don't know. I kind of know why, but not really. It's because going around curves in a truck like this, see, let me get my speed right. Actually, I got to slow down for this turn. When you go around a curve, like right here, I'm kind of on the right side of the lane, right? When you go around a left turn, you want to be, well, here, yeah, you want to be on the opposite side, right? Like here, we're taking a right turn. I want to have the front of the truck more, you know, on this side of the lane because my trailer is trailing behind me, you know? And so when I look at low-speed turns from the outside viewpoint, my truck being on one side or the other looks weird or something and makes it hard to correct for. I don't know. That's why I said it's hard to explain, something like that. But so I'll just try to enjoy the view out the window, and we'll have a couple cool places where we can stop and see things. But yeah, like a turn like this, you know, you want to keep the truck on this side of the road so my trailer is not hanging out on the road for oncoming cars to hit. That would not be good. Yeah, we're going to have a lot of 30-mile-an-hour turns. Ooh, I bet it looks pretty over there. Oh, yeah, it does. Oh, wow, look at the reflections of the clouds in the water. That's very cool. We'll stop and take some pictures. Maybe I'll stop more than... maybe if we see a cool place, I'll pull over here or there. It's gorgeous out here. 20-mile-an-hour turn. So I don't expect to take this road too many times. This is not a well-traveled truck route, so yeah, I want to enjoy it while we're on it. But it's cool that, oh, it's so cool that places like this exist in the game and not just freeways. But yeah, this requires a bit of attention coming up these. I'll find some places to pull out the camera. Not something I usually do, but since this is a game, we do have the ability to pull out a camera and freeze time while we're driving. That way we can look at stuff and not wreck. What's this? Can we pull over here? No, we can't. We can't. I just think it's cool that we have a highway that follows the coastline. I always thought it was cool. That's why when I went out there, it was a few years ago, and I was staying, well, where I was staying, as it happens, was a cabin like right near the coast. But it was far northern California. To be fair, you couldn't see the coast. Where I was staying was maybe half a mile from the coast, like maybe, but you couldn't even see it because the trees were so thick. But you could leave the house and within 2 minutes you could be on this highway, and it was so cool. So I took the opportunity to tour it a little bit. Let's see, is there a cool view here? I hate to do this. I don't usually do this, but we're sure to have some cool views here. Sorry, I'm trying to remember what the keys are for this because I don't use the keyboard. Whoa. Right there. That's pretty cool. Let's get back to the truck. I think that might make a good thumbnail. I may not need any more pictures. Hopefully I edited that down because that took me a couple minutes. Hopefully I made it. It was a really pretty view there. It was a really pretty view. I probably cut 90% of it out. I was talking and moving the camera and trying to figure out how to get it. It was a cool view. I changed the time of day a little bit, make it look a little better. Because yeah, as it is, the weather is a little bit cloudy. We might even see rain. I don't know. I was hoping for a beautiful day, but we'll see. It's only 10 o'clock. We'll see. And it should be a solid drive. We might have to stop and rest. I don't know on that. We'll check on that later, but I don't think we'll need fuel. But then again, it's a long drive. We might need to stop for both. because this is not the fastest road. Oh, there's a viewpoint up here. Yeah, the viewpoint that I flagged, it's coming up here a little bit. Oh, it should be scenic. 25 miles an hour. Yeah, if you want to make good time going up this road in a truck, this is not the road to take. So where's that viewpoint? It's right up here. Hopefully it's accessible from this side of the road. Sometimes, well, it should be, because this road is just one tight 2-lane road. Let's see, where's our viewpoint at? Oh, it's right here. Sweet. Right here. There we go. All right. There we go. Let's see what we got. California 1, Rocky Creek. Yeah, you know, it's a beautiful view off this highway, but when I was there, maybe it's just the time of year, but when I was there, the ocean was very gray. It was kind of not the prettiest thing. It was just gray. I don't know if the Pacific Ocean is just gray, but it seems to me like in movies and photos and stuff, it's always bright blue. But when I was there, it's kind of a depressing greenish gray, everything. Still a cool view, but maybe it's just, you know, the reality of the ocean and life just isn't as cool as it is in places like this. So maybe here we're actually getting better views than we'd get in real life. That was a cool tunnel that we just went through there. That was pretty neat. Now, I know that they've gone through and they've done the California rework, which I don't know exactly what it entailed. But is it just me, or does these mountains, these rocks and everything look better than the game's default? See, this game came out in 2016, and California was the first state. I bet they redid all of these graphics, because... Sorry, I was just taking a drink. Because I'm not... Whoops. What did I turn off? Sorry, I hit the wrong button. All right, let me make sure. Let's get stupid bar turned off. I find that very annoying. What are my headlights? We don't need headlights right now. Okay, we're good. All right, parking brake. And, oh yeah, it needs to be in gear. All right, let's get going. So, yeah, the game came out in 2016, and these don't look like the default graphics in the game. That said, I'm not running any... The only mods I'm using at all is this truck. Also, there's a link to this truck in the description below if you're curious as to what truck I'm using. It's the only mod that I'm using is this truck. No graphics mods whatsoever. So, this looks pretty good for a game from 2016. Yeah, they did the California rework, and they spent a lot of time doing it. They may still be working on it. I think they're doing it in, like, phases, basically. So, yeah, and just from what I remember, I've not been out here in a few years. It's been a couple years since I've been out in California. Hey, the game's big. you can spend a long time driving in other places. But looking at all of the intricate details and all the little shadows and everything, it seems to me that they've really touched this up, because I don't remember it looking this good. But yeah, it's been a while since I've been out here. I spent so much time driving in the eastern parts of the game. As the game expands eastward, there's just... Well, like every time they add a new state, you know, as it expands eastward across the United States, there's new states to explore, and also each further state just adds more territory to the game. So, the farthest westernmost state is the least traveled, because they keep expanding it eastward, adding both more space and more content on the east. You see, yeah, so just trying to figure out why exactly I haven't been out here in so long. Because, yeah, I've spent most of my time in the new states, and with each new state, this becomes a longer and longer drive to reach. But that's just cool. It's just cool how big this darn game is now. Now, that reminds me, just the other day, was it yesterday? It was yesterday, I think, I saw a new game coming out. It's a truck driving game from Saber Interactive, maker of Roadcraft and also SnowRunner. They're making a game, I think it's called Road Kings. I don't know. It's scheduled for next year. I went ahead and wishlisted it on Steam. This is the only truck game that I ever played. That said, I'll be playing this new game from Saber Interactive. I think it's called Road Kings. I'll be playing it. I wishlisted it. I'll be playing it. I'll get it. But I've never played any other truck games. I can't imagine any other truck game being this good. I mean, to compete, can't compete directly with this game. I don't think you can do that. SCS Software has been constantly working on this game. This one game, well, also ETS, but I mean, this game, since 2016, for 9 years, they have been constantly adding content to this game. So what I'm saying is, it'd be hard for a game to come out and in any way compete directly with this game. You know, this game with, you know, 9 years of content in it. And it looks, well, first of all, it looks Unreal Engine 5. This new game, it looks Unreal Engine 5. So insane graphics, you know, like we see in Roadcraft, like really good graphics, not like this. I don't see it being able to have the scope this game has. But I'll be curious to see it. But again, I don't play any other truck games, so I don't know what the normal standard is for those. But it'll be interesting. That's not till next year, and that's neither here nor there because it's not this game. Okay, this is just a caution light here. But there's probably going to be a stoplight up here. Yeah, I bet they've added a lot of detail through here because this is incredibly gorgeous through here. I bet there's way more detail than there was 9 years ago. I don't think it looked this good. Yeah, this is a pretty little town. It's a really pretty... That guy just turned right in front of me. Look at that guy just do... I wasn't really paying attention. Good thing I saw it because I wasn't paying attention. I was just looking at the external, but that guy just making a legal left turn in front of a semi, that's really ill-advised. That's not something that you should be doing. I don't think you should be doing that. We got the green here. Let's move through this light. Speed limit's 45. Probably gonna want to be in the right-hand lane. We can get over there. San Francisco 101. Is that what it said? Barely saw that. 65 miles an hour. Well, 55 for us. So it looks like we should still be in Highway 1, but it's definitely we're not on the coastal part anymore here. It says we're in Highway 1, I believe, if I'm reading that on the GPS right. I guess here we just kind of take a little trip off of the coast. Well, that's cool. Well, we can kind of let down our guard and relax a little bit here. We don't have traffic going both ways on either side of us or whatever, and we don't have 25-mile-an-hour turns out of nowhere. So here we can kind of chill for a little bit. Yeah, it's hard to read. The GPS, that looks like a Highway 1 sign. Let's see. Yeah, it is. I was just looking up there to make sure. Yeah, I guess here the highway just kind of takes a little trip away from the coast for a minute. So we have got, let's see, the trip total was 725 miles, so we got about 530 miles to go, thereabouts. A little over 500 miles to go. And what does this say we're doing up here? We got some kind of turn to make here. Looks like we're making one of these loopy exits. Let's see. Well, we're going past the exit. Whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, we're going past that exit. We're taking this right here. So it's not an exit. It's just it's some kind of loopy. I don't know. Glad I had like no notice on that one. Slow down a little bit. Slow down a little bit. How fast are we going? I can't read my speedometer. I can't read the speedometer. So let's just brake. Yeah, let's just brake. Oh, I'm like watching this like a hawk trying to make that turn. And I realized partway through that there's no way I can look at my speedometer. Okay, we're taking this. Moss Beach, Highway 1. We're taking this. All right. Yeah, we don't want to get in any accidents or anything crazy like that. We want to have a beautiful and uneventful drive. up California Highway 1. We are going... Well, we're just going to stay here. Hopefully the road doesn't split off or anything weird. Let's check out where we're at here. Santa Cruz is where we're at here. Santa Cruz discovered. This is taking us, maybe this is taking us back down to the coast. I don't know. We'll see. Santa Cruz, Moss Beach. It looks like the sky is clearing up a little bit. It's not as gray as it was. Oh, definitely not. It's pretty out there now. Sun came out. Now this is taking us around a curve. We got plenty of fuel. I see a gas stop up there, but we got plenty of fuel. We are going... We turning here? Yeah, I think we are turning. Guess so. Let's see what this says. Moss Beach, 30 miles. San Francisco, 78. Let's get in the left lane here. See what kind of views we got here. Let's go a little bit slower so that yeah, that be the ocean there. Very cool. Oh, this is a beautiful little road right here. I'm just kind of slowing down. I know I'm on the rumble strip. I'm just like slowing down to take it in. This is really beautiful. I bet they have gone over these graphics because this looks really detailed. Yeah, looks really, really, really good here. Really good here. I'm going way slower, but it looks so cool. Let's get back in. It's so much. I don't know why it is so hard to drive out there, but it is. I know that I can't make a single mistake with the semi and wreck it. That would be really bad. 45 miles an hour. Well, I think it's because, you know, I mean, when you drive a car, this is the view you have, so it's easy. Like, the outside view makes it so difficult. Like, I can drive like this and look out the window and still drive. It's because I've been driving in real life for what, 28 years? So, you know, if you drive a while, you can drive down the road. You know, it's not hard to look around the inside of the car and drive, but you're not. Yeah, what I mean is, like, yeah, you can drive with one hand on the wheel looking out the window and you're fine. But when you shift to a floating, like, drone view outside, you don't have, yeah, you don't, in my 28 years of driving, I have no point of reference as to where the car is turning with the camera, you know, floating above it. And yeah, that's what I'm getting at. I don't have a point of reference out there, but here, well, I do have a point of reference here because this is just a view looking at the side of your eye, you know, from in front of the dashboard. I think that makes some sense. That makes some sense to me. This is a cool little place we're in here. I like all these little, all the little villages and the little towns, little groups of houses and stuff as you go up this road. I think it's cool. I'm not sure I've ever driven this highway in this game. Well, at least not a set, like, decisive trip up this road like we're doing now. Like, I definitely never sat down and said, let's drive specifically up this one highway in game. I definitely haven't done that. I've maybe done deliveries that took me on here. Wow. Pacific Ocean. Ah, very cool. 45 miles an hour. There's a cool little pull-off here. Can we... I guess so. Here. Let me see. There's no traffic coming. I think we can take the opportunity to pull off here for just a second. But trying to get the trailer off the road, I'm going to have to back this up a little bit, I think. No, we're fine. Yeah, we're fine. I wanted to get a cool... That's cool. Honestly, I don't even know how good of a thumbnail that would make because the ocean will probably just disappear into the sky, any kind of photo. Some pictures look cool, but then you got to actually apply some. Yeah, there's some cool pictures there. All right, we'll go back to the truck. I thought that was a cool place to pull over. I noticed that we actually did have room to pull over here. So let's get back on the road. Enough tourism for now. Do I hear a car behind me? Thought I did, but apparently not. I must have been here in my own truck. Oh wow. Nope, there's definitely cars behind me. Well, I looked when I pulled onto the highway. I didn't see anything, but it took me a minute to get up to speed. But yeah, we've got a fair few cars behind us. Oh, I hate that when I'm driving a car on a road like this. And yeah, because say you're the car behind my truck, where are you going to find a place to pass me? You know, yeah, where on earth will you find a place to pass a truck like this on a road like this? What do we got here? We got us some tunnel action here. Oh, cool tunnel. Get our headlights on. Wait, what's my speed? Okay, little fast. Yeah, we're kind of speeding a little bit here. Little bit. Oh wow, some kind of crazy bridge. I bet that bridge looks cool from outside. I bet it does. What is all of this? I don't know. 30 miles an hour. Oh, this is cool. All these beautiful trees and stuff. Yeah, this is a really scenic road. Even where there's not the view of the ocean, it's very scenic. I gotta pay attention to so much stuff here. There must be like towns we're going through here. Let's get over in this lane. Look at these houses and these buildings and stuff. Let's see here. Let me get a stop and I like the architecture and stuff I hear. Like, you can look at these houses and things and you can know that you're in California. They do a really, really good job with that. Oh, look, there's a little sailboat out there. Yeah, you can just look around and you can tell you're in California. A truck is blocking my view of the ocean. Oh well, we got to drive. I was trying to see if I can get the sailboat and my truck in the same shot, but oh yeah, actually I can right there. But we got to drive. But we got to drive. .30-mile-an-hour speed zone. Yeah, what do we got? Oh, San Francisco. That's what we got here. I figured we were coming into something. San Francisco. If you heard that, that was an achievement that popped up. I don't think it shows the achievements, but it probably made a bloopy sound. That's what that was. But maybe not, because to be fair, yeah. So like, I have it set to record the game, but I think that sound was Steam, so that might not have come through in the recording anyway. But if it did, if there was a bloopy sound, that was a Steam achievement. Anyway. Through the streets of San Francisco. My experience of driving through San Francisco, very narrow roads, and people drive really fast through them. Like, I never drove through San Francisco, but I've ridden in Ubers around San Francisco, and they would go insanely fast. I guess they're just used to driving these roads, but that was my experience. I've only been there 2 different times, and I just used an Uber to get around, but my experience was the traffic was insane. Alright, let's see. We got us probably a stoplight. It feels like a stoplight. Yep, but we're going. We're green, I meant to say. This is a gorgeous drive. I just like this. I like the curvy roads. I like because all the buildings, the towns, everything is right up next to our truck. So you You don't have to look out the window to see stuff because like it's very scenic because everything is right there in your view. And boy, we have no shoulder here, do we? We have got zero shoulder action. A little uncomfortable. Yeah, it's a little claustrophobic in there. Now, what do we got here? We need to be probably not in this lane. I could just see that turning into an exit only, and then we get shuttled off with it. But no, okay, we're good. It's just making sure. Yeah, we're gonna want to get over with that guy, I think. Everything was really tight right there, and I could totally just see that lane just splitting off right there with no warning. That would totally be a thing. Discovered a viewpoint. What the heck? Hold up. What is that? Well, that means that there's... Yeah, some of these are hidden in that they're not marked on the map, right? So we need to see if we can pull off up here. Yeah, some of these you actually, like, see, like this one right here. You can see because the roads are gray. I've not been here yet, but it's there on the map. That's how most of them are, but some of them are, I guess you could say, hidden because you have to drive up to them to see them, to unlock them. So let's look for a place where we can turn off here. It's off there floating in space, which means there's some way to reach it. There's some way to reach it which is not marked on the map. So we're going to pull off here. And we are now officially off the map. Yeah, I discovered a passage. Yeah. Okay, we got to see here where... We are going to turn... Yeah, so we found one of these unmapped pieces of road, which is cool that this exists in the game. Yeah, that there are roads that are not on the map. Yeah, very cool. There was a video we did back in, oh, where was it? One of the more eastern states that they've added in the last year or so, and we found like a whole 100-mile section of road that was on no map anywhere in the game. That is right. So like this here, I've largely got the camera out here so I can make sure there's no to the, you know where the roads end in American Truck Simulator and there's those yellow axes across the road. I'm mostly making sure there's nothing like that here. No, it's letting us drive through this. So this is all unmarked. I don't know where that viewpoint was. I'm just exploring this, seeing where this goes. So this goes... We're going to want to check the map. And here, I want to check the map too. Okay, back there, that was the camera. So this is going to take us to, I don't know where. We're going to go back to that camera icon there. Well, I want to see where this goes, and then we'll turn around and we'll head back there. We'll have to recalibrate our miles. What did I say about that? Yeah. Oh, my guy's getting tired. All right, so we're going to have to find a place to rest, too, unless we want to hear him yawning the whole time, which, spoiler, we don't. We don't want to hear that. Can we turn here? No, we can't. We got to find a way to get back going the other way. I know a way, but it's not very conventional. But I don't see any traffic here, so if we're quick about it, this is probably a really bad idea. If we're quick about it. See, there's no traffic. So if we're really quick about this, we do this move like this. You saw nothing? Nothing transpired here. It's just a regular day driving on the road. Okay. So we want to follow this this passage here. Yeah, we're on the right thing. I want to make sure we're on the right thing. We're going to follow this back to this viewpoint. My guy keeps yawning. I'm sorry about that. We got to rest. We'll figure that out once we can... Okay, yeah, we're just going to follow this back. The GPS is freaking out, re-diverting me down different paths. The GPS has no idea where we're at because we're off the map. This is really cool, though. That's cool. Once we do find a place to rest, we'll rest, and then that'll give us a nice early start to the next day. Continuing up Highway 1 here. I can't believe we got away with that turn. It was really... I know, it was an unconventional turn, but we executed it cleanly and quickly, and no cars were harmed in the making of that turn, right? Okay, so up here... Ah, I see it. Yeah, it was like right here where we turned off. Just stop right here. And let's have a look at this viewpoint. Oh, wow, that's gorgeous. Golden Gate Bridge. Oh, that makes sense that they would have a viewpoint here. Yeah, you know, I've been to San Francisco twice, but I can't really say I've seen the Golden Gate Bridge because if I recall, both times I was there, you couldn't see it for the fog because it's often foggy there. Go figure. But yeah, I'm not sure I've ever properly seen it. But that's a very cool view. Actually, that was a cool view. I might just use that for the thumbnail. Heck. Oh yeah, and there's all this buildings and stuff down under it and stuff. I guess I don't know. That's kind of a tight. It's like a real tight angle. But I recall seeing it from the distance, and there's like stuff down there. Like I don't know what it is exactly. I don't know. Oh, there's an interesting camera angle. You know, I don't know anything about the history of the Golden Gate Bridge. I mean, I know it's just this huge, iconic orange bridge. It's probably got cool, like, stories and stuff about it. I know nothing about it. Well, very beautiful. Is that the end of the thing, then? Yes, so we need to get going. Let's see, can we circle around this? Okay, we gotta have a look here. Let's get back in the truck. Let's fire it up, look at the GPS. Can I see anything definitive on the GPS? Well, we're gonna... let's see. My guy's still yawning. Can we go this way and get out? No. Can I turn left there? We're gonna find out. See, there's the yellow axis I spoke of. Avoid that car. I'm seeing if we can turn here. Oh, that'd be a tough turn. Yeah, I'm not sure about this turn. I don't know if I can make this. Well, I think so. Maybe. Carefully. Very, very carefully. Jeez, this is tight. I thought about backing back down that road. Okay, we've got it. Yeah, we've got it. Barely. Okay. Well, it was that white barrier there. I was like, I don't know if I can make this turn and not whack my trailer on that white barrier. But we did. Ay, ay, ay. All right. Find a place to rest. Yes, we are going to find a place to rest. That is next order of business. If we can get on this, we're going to have to jump the curb on this. Yeah, we're going to clip the curb. There's no way around it. This was not designed with an 18-wheeler in mind. Easy does it. I'm not going to hit a sign, am I? No. Just a curb a little bit. But that's what curbs are there for. All right, let's look at the map. We got to find us a place to rest. Oh, there was places. Yeah, but I was like, hey, there's places back here, but that would have been insanely hard to get to. We're going to have to stick with, guys. There's no place to rest. Well, that's where we have to go. I mean, there's no way around it. So unless we want to make a huge detour, and we don't. 407 miles is our new distance. We're going to want to reset our trip, obviously. So, all right, reset the trip. 407 miles. So my guy's going to be yawning a bit. It probably annoys me more than you, but if it does annoy you, I apologize. We're going to have to deal with it for a minute. Whoa, 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 car. I mean, look, I could see better from in here. I was out there because it was helping. Oh, come on, car. Jesus. Okay, that car's just trolling me. Like, seriously, he knows I have to get over. And then, yeah. Okay, so we got a little bit of a drive to get to this rest stop. Hopefully it doesn't, like, black my character out or something. I've never driven to complete exhaustion, so I can't say I know what happens. Oh, I got that stupid... That display needs to go away. Go way. I wish I could just completely just disable it in the game. Well, see, it keeps popping up. I always complain about it because I don't like the HUD. I choose to play like this, and every time it pops up, and then I have to reach over to my keyboard and start hitting F3 to turn it off. All right, so get a camera here, obviously, to take a picture of the Golden Gate Bridge. I'll do that real quick and just keep driving. All right, I took a quick picture of the Golden Gate Bridge. Hopefully I edited all that out and you wouldn't even know otherwise, because we need to get to a rest point here. Plus, we've already seen the Golden Gate Bridge. Yeah, we had a nice long cutscene of it. My headlights on? Yeah, I turned my headlights on in the... just thinking to myself. Yeah, I turned the headlights on in that tunnel and I left them on. Because it's getting, well, it's getting a little dusky out here. A little... I think I was going slow. Or am I going fast? Yeah, I'm going fast. Okay. I guess, yeah, it's my hurry to, I'm like, oh, we got to get to a place to rest, and I unknowingly, like, added 10 miles an hour to my speed. You know how that goes. You're getting tired. I know I'm getting tired. Quit popping up the menu. But what can I do? I could turn that option off in the options. You can turn off the rest mechanic, but to me, that's a good part of the challenge of the game. I mean, it's a challenge. It's just it gives you something to pay attention to. Like if I turn off, well, it's like how far do you want to go? How many mechanics do you want to turn off? You know, I can make the game ultimately easy. I can make it so that my truck can go 200 miles an hour, that there's no collision, and this and that, right? Yeah, if you start turning stuff like that off, you lose the whole point of the game. And so maybe that's an exaggeration, but the sleep mechanic is part of that. It's a restriction that keeps you... Yeah, so that's why I leave it on. In real life, I could drive longer than 8 hours. I could push myself and drive longer than however long I have to drive. But I feel like it's necessary for the game. That's one reason. There's another thing like that in the game also, actually. And this really annoys me, when you level up in the game, you select new perks. And I hate that. I wish I could disable that system, and maybe there is a way to. I hate it because you have to take him. You can't not take him, as far as I know. So every time I level up, and the thing is, I've been avoiding some of them. Like for instance, there's perks when you level up you can take that allow you to drive farther without fueling up. It sounds like a very good video game mechanic, but it's not a realistic mechanic because it doesn't make any sense that as I became a more experienced driver, my gas mileage gets better. That doesn't make any sense. I want to still, so this feeds back into the rest thing. I want to still have to fuel up and stop for rests. If I'm driving forever on the same tank of fuel and never have to rest, where is the simulation? Where's the game? It's not there. So I hate the mechanic that, and I've taken like every perk point I can. At this point, I'm like, my character's like level 30-ish, I think. And I've taken like all the perk points, like except for that. I'm trying not to take that, but it keeps forcing me to take better fuel mileage, which means less fuel stops, less gas stations, less exits. Where's the game? You know? Ooh, wow, this is a beautiful view here, though. But yeah, so if you see where I'm going with that. Whoa, why did I swerve? I have no idea. Okay, we'll just stay straight here. Oh, maybe my guy... Do you think that's what that was? I don't know. I've never driven and gotten so tired, so it's hard to say. Did that make my camera swerve? I don't know. But let's, it looks like our rest stop is not too far up here. And I'm speeding a little bit. Yeah, I am speeding a little bit. Again, I'm just trying to get up here to this place. But I should slow down because these turns are not taking my 65 miles an hour into account. These turns are built for trucks to go 55 around. Now our rest stop is right up here. Hopefully it's on the right and not just the left. If it's on the left, then we're gonna have to make it work. But you know what it looks like to me? Hold up, it's on the left. We gotta make it work. We gotta make it work. There's no way around it. We have to pull over here. Luckily, the cars just gave us enough of a break. Ooh, yeah. Now, hopefully there's a trigger here that we can drive over and trigger. There it is. All right, guys, I gotta shut this down for a minute. All right, there we go. 5:30 a.m. Not a bad time to start off. Yeah. All right, let's get moving. 5:20 a.m. Just gonna start getting light. I had to make like an emergency stop there. Like I really felt like that one place, I really felt like it made me swerve because I didn't move the wheel. And I'm always honest with that stuff. Like if I make a mistake, I tell you, I was in third person like this and my truck swerved over to the left and I was like, what the heck was that? It didn't feel like my input. And I don't know what happens when you get super tired in the game. I don't know, but no worries. We're back on the road. We are freshly rested. We have half a tank of fuel, so we are good. We have got, it was 407. We got 407 miles to go. Well, we did. We're down 80, so about 320 miles. We got about 320 miles to go up the California coast. We are fresh now. Well, we had some fun exploration and stuff like that. Does it say right lane ends? Yes, it is. Whoa, whoa, what's going on behind me there? There's a truck flashing his lights. Well, I looked over to see there's a car behind me, but there's also a truck flashing his lights. Hold on. Right lane ends, but then it... What's that truck doing? I don't know. I don't know. 55 miles an hour, though. Let's go. 55 miles an hour. Cool forests. Yeah, as we get into Northern California, we're going to have more and more of these forests, and there's lower speed limit. Whoa. Hold up. There we go. Okay. That truck in front of me, I didn't know how fast he was going to stop. So, Ukiah, is it the name of this town? I think so. Ukiah, I don't know. Never heard of it in real life, but that's what it says. Maybe it's an Indian name. Kind of sounds like it. It's a weird name. Ukiah. Cool little town. Well, it says it's still up here. Yeah, Ukiah 14. Well, but we're in something here. It might be like it's the outskirts of it or something. But it looks like the weather's going to be good today. Well, I mean, it's only 6 in the morning, but the sun's really... well, if those gray skies burn off, I think it might be a pretty day. It's kind of hard to tell so early in the day, but I think it might be a pretty day out here. Alright, well, 55 miles an hour. Ukiah city limit. Alright, very cool. Yep, today's definitely a longer video. Well, I guess it figures. It's a much longer drive on a much slower road. Yeah, as we get more north, well, I mean, as we get more north, we're getting closer to Oregon, so, yeah. More and more forests and trees, right lane ends. Speed limit, that looks like a cop behind me, yep, 55. Ooh, wow, this is a pretty bridge here. Yeah, so I think we're good for the rest of the way. You know, stop to rest. We have half a tank of fuel. I'll double check that here when I get around this turn. Yeah, half a tank of fuel, so we're good there. But we're going to be having more hills, more trees. Well, we've got some beautiful view of the coast while we, on the way up here. Some beautiful, beautiful views. Yeah, it looks like we're going to just have... We're going to start getting up in mountains and trees here. Well, but I don't know for sure, probably. So we're taking this up to Eureka. I think we're taking this up to lane ends merge right. That's what I said? Okay, so we're in the good lane. Yeah, we're in the good lane. Yeah, so we're taking this up to Eureka, and then we are going to Redding, because Redding is off the coast a ways. Yeah, Redding is not on the coast. But I made the route so that we'd be following Highway 1. Yeah, so what? Speeding violation. Yeah, well, it's my fault. I said there was a cop behind me, right? Yeah. Okay. Luckily, it startles you a bit in the game, but it's not too much of a thing because it doesn't stop you or anything. It's my fault for not seeing him. Well, I did see the cop. No, I knew he was right behind me, but I wasn't paying attention to my speed. Anyway, so yeah, we're going up to Eureka, and then we're going east to Redding. Right there, Eureka, 117 miles. That's the last we'll be on the coast. Hopefully we get some more views of the coast on the way up there. Car there broken down. Road narrows. Well, the road is already narrow. What is our speed limit? Now I'm all watching my speed limit closely, but it's 55 here. Let's see. 5 miles an hour. Right lane ends, is that what it said? Yeah, I think so. We get a lot of that, but we're going to have a lot of that, just how it goes. Speed limit 55, okay. Now there's the ocean, or so it appears. There's some water, at least. It's hard for me to see because I got to watch where I'm going here. Oh, what does it say? Eureka 99. Yeah, this is cool. This is the kind of scenery that I like. Yeah, you can tell we're getting up to the northwest here. I like the northwest scenery. I did a whole series of videos a while ago touring the northwest, and I like to do that every once in a while. I like doing deliveries up there. But yeah, here's where the west coast scenery blends in with the northwest kind of biome. And this truck really pulls up these hills. Well, we've only got 450 horsepower, but we get a pretty light load. Yeah, 21,000 pounds. That's the trailer. I don't know about the whole truck, but the trailer that we're pulling is either 21 or 27. It's 20-something thousand pounds. It's a pretty light load. Really. I mean, it's a big, heavy vehicle back there, but that's the only thing that we're pulling. I mean, like 20,000 pounds, that's what I'd expect from like a load of office supplies or something. It's really not a very heavy load at all. So, even with our measly 450 horsepower, pulling it just fine. And some big, deep curves here. Oh, we got another camera viewpoint coming up. See what there is to see up here. But it's been a beautiful drive. I mean, I think this definitely met my expectations of what it would be like driving up the coastal highway. Although in my head it was a little more scenic, but the thing is we have to look at the road, and that's just the hard reality of driving any kind of vehicles. We have to look at the road. Ooh, wow, look at this. Redwoods. Yeah, the hard reality is we have to look at the road. I've done as much as I can to see the ocean and stuff here and there. I think we've seen a fair few cool sights. Now this is cool. I don't think I've ever been on this road. All these big redwood trees, these are cool when you get up here. Yeah, the time I went and stayed in California, not the San Francisco. I said I went to San Francisco twice, not those times, but the most recent time I went out here. It was like in this area here, in the cabin, like surrounded by these trees, these just giant, towering redwoods. This is a cool place. We're going to take a picture of this because, well, there's a picture here to be taken, so we're going to see what it is. The Legend of Bigfoot. That's cool. That's a cool shot there. But you know what? I like this. I mean, that's like a cool shot, maybe for a thumbnail, but if this is the Bigfoot shot, that's just cool. Can we get a big picture of this? The Legend of Bigfoot. That's hilarious. All right. Let's get out of here. Let's get back to the wheel. That was pretty cool. They put some funny, cool, I don't know if funny's the right word, but they put some really cool touches in this game. You know, like like I'm sure that place exists and looks exactly like that. I speak from, you know, the places that I'm familiar with that I visited in the game that they've recreated. They get everything down to even, like, there's street signs I know that are in this game, you know, places. So judging off the places that I'm familiar with, I'm sure that place is there and looks exactly like that. I'm sure that sign right there for that road is actually in the real world. Like they get, you know, the distance, I've said this all the time, but yeah, the distances are compressed, but the sections, the stuff that's here is all representative of the actual stuff in real life. Like, I live in Western Colorado, and maybe, I don't think I've done this. I have toured through Western Colorado in the game and seen what's actually there and what's not. I could do a video, because see that place, see like there, that's where I'm familiar with it. But I would be pointing stuff out every 10 seconds. It might even be annoying, but I could point out every 10 seconds, like every sign, every thing that's there. And I will tell you that all the exit numbers are the same. The signs are the same. Everything is there. You know, people who are maybe not suspicious, but they're like, you know, how accurate could this game actually be? Well, I will tell you, at least for the places I'm familiar with, insanely accurate. However, there's some towns that are entirely not there at all. Well, yeah, because they have to compress the distances down. There's some towns that don't exist, some stuff that's not there, but the stuff that is there, yeah, it's, so anyway, all this stuff would be here, and it's very cool. Yeah, very cool sights and stuff up here. We got a couple hundred more miles. Not even, yeah, less than 200 miles, actually. Less than 200 miles to Redding, California, which I have been to. In fact, that may be where we started our California road trip. Yeah, that may just be where we started this. This has been I forget how many parts in this series. This is maybe the 5th video in the series, maybe, I forget exactly. It seems to me we started off in Redding. Wasn't our first delivery like from Redding to Fresno? I could be wrong on that, but that almost seems right. Started off in the far northern, and today we're ending up in the far northern part. Hang on, let me make sure my cruise control is set for 55. I don't want to get caught speeding again. We started off in the far north because I wanted to get as much of California in this video series as I could. There's other things I'd like to do, other places I'd like to drive, and other trucks I'd like to use. I like this truck, but lately I've kind of had thoughts about, I want to drive a new truck. I do that a lot. Like, I drive different trucks. And usually I try to do like a series where we're just driving one truck. And I'm kind of thinking, well, I've had some cool ideas for there's Eureka. I've had some cool ideas for another truck recently. Well, I like this truck because it's it's much more modern than the trucks I usually drive. It's got a nice quiet engine, and it's got it's a very modern truck. Very homey. It's very homey, very comforting. It's also a very modern truck. And the more I drive modern trucks, the more I want to drive something else. And I've had some thoughts recently about doing another trip with an old school truck, you know, so like no GPS or anything like that. No GPS, no this, no that, only strictly old school dashboard and maps. And that's fun. That's a fun challenge. I thought recently about that. So we'll see. But first I was like, yeah, but first I want to do that cruise up Highway 1 in the Cascadia. But the truck I have in mind is a Kenworth W900. It's got you can do some really good old school designs with that truck. And that truck in particular has you'll see when I get that truck built, it'll have like the exact right feel for that. I feel like we were at that light forever. Yeah, that light lasted like forever. I hate when I get stuck at stoplights in this game. Hopefully we can get through this and then get out of this town. But sometimes in these towns you can get stuck at lights for a while. Come on, cars, let's get through this. I'm gonna push it through this. It's yellow. It's yellow. That's fine. But what do we got up here? Well, anyway, this is Eureka, and from here, I'm not sure what road we're getting on, but it's it looked very curvy on the map. What do we have here? Oh no, tell me this is not it. We have a traffic faux pas. No, please clear it up, guys. Sometimes the traffic in this game, they can get confused, and then you have congestion that, okay, luckily we're good. All right, had the camera out there. I was making sure it wasn't one of those. Yeah, it doesn't happen all the time, but if you play the game, you've seen it. The traffic can get gridlocked, and then the only choice you have is to, well, you have to get through it somehow. You can't turn the traffic off. So, anyway, we got a lot of stoplights to go through here. So, yeah, I chose to go through this town, so it looks like we're going to be stopping. This game, again, this game does not have this thing in real life. Traffic lights are streamlined to get traffic through them, so you generally won't get stopped at every light. I know it can happen in real life. I know getting stopped at lights can't happen in real life, but generally, traffic systems are set up. Obviously, the traffic system exists to get traffic through a city as efficiently as possible. I mean, ideally, unless you're like a conspiracy theorist, right? So the systems are designed to streamline as many green lights as possible in a row because it actually behooves the flow of all traffic if you don't have to stop as much. This game has nothing like that, and this game literally can stop you at every single light sometimes, and it's like, yeah, it can get annoying. But we got through that fairly painlessly. That might be the end of them. Now here, I guess we're going straight. Oh, there's another light. Okay, another light. And yeah, I did not see what highway it is that we're taking out to Redding, but we've got about 150 miles-ish to go. So it should be that's a pretty short distance in this game, really. Yeah, 150 miles is a fairly short distance. It's kind of just a nice little drive. So we're gonna have a nice little drive through the country here. Speed limit 50. All right. Ooh, this does look like it's gonna be. Yeah, this looks like it's gonna be a pretty road here. Let's see. 50 miles an hour. Well, we are making our turn away from the coast now. Redding, next right. Oh, well, that's where we're going. Are we getting off there? I guess we'll see. Oops, I bumped my mic. I don't know if that made a sound or not. I didn't hear it. Yes, we are getting off here. What do we got? Tell me the exit's not closed. Nope, just some light road construction on the side there. All right. You know, we could use a stop for fuel. I mean, we're like maybe a third of a tank. No, we're actually just under half, but we could stop. Oh, we don't need to. I was just thinking it might be it is quite beautiful here. I don't mind making stops sometimes. It's a good way to see, you know, the scenery, you know. Yeah, this is really nice views. I like up here in the Northwest. Oregon and Washington and such, and we are so close to Oregon here. So close to Oregon. Yeah, I just wanted a view of the outside there. Okay, speed limit is 55. And yeah, we got curvy highway ahead of us. I'm gonna check our mileage, make sure that we're kind of spot on. This is 128 miles, yeah. I'm just making sure that I didn't make any wrong turns or anything. Make sure that we're still lane ends merge left. All right. Well, I can't see behind me because I'm going around a curve. Look, one of the things behind me is turned, so hopefully we can get over. Yeah, it seems like a really awkward place. To tell someone to merge left while they're going around a slow right-hand turn. You can't see behind you. Yeah, in the mirror. Now here I can see behind me, right? See, that's what I mean. Yeah, I look behind me going around a right turn. All I see is the other lane. It's like, well, oh wow, this is a curvy road. I mean, yeah, it looks pretty curvy on the map. This is curvy. Well, we're going up into the mountains, I guess. Super curvy. Is that a viewpoint up here that I didn't see? That looks like there's a on the GPS up there. Yeah, it is. I didn't see that when I was planning this route. I 100% did not see that. Where's the turn for that? there's a rest area right here. Well, let's stop and hit this viewpoint because, I mean, how often... Yeah, I try to get these when I pass them because it's like, well, how many times, you know, are we gonna be here and see this viewpoint? When's the next time I'll be out in this specific highway between Eureka and Redding in California, you know? Especially as this game gets bigger. The game is really big now. And it's... Yeah. So it's, check this out. Alright, so this is, Bernie Vista Point. Bernie Vista. It's a weird name. Bernie. Like Bernie, I like... Yeah, the fire is Bernie. I don't know. But pretty cool views. Well, I specified that like Bernie, not, it's, I don't know if you saw it on the screen. It's not spelled like the name Bernie. It's spelled like Bernie. It's just weird. That's a cool section of road there. That's pretty cool looking. I guess, is that one of the curves we were just going over and I didn't know? Well, I was paying attention to the road, not to what was underneath the road. Yeah, maybe so. You know, one of the trucks in that shot just now, I just can't help but think this. I saw the truck and I wasn't going to say anything, but then I was like, well, I don't know. See, all the companies in this game, right? They're made up companies, obviously, right? Hang on, let me get my truck started up here. They're all made up companies. So any truck designs you see, any company designs, right? Well, there was this truck in that cutscene and it had its entire trailer, and you could say it's a coincidence. Yeah, that's why I wasn't going to say anything, but I was like, well, the entire trailer would look like a huge Ukraine flag. It was all blue and yellow, but it was like the exact same blue and yellow. Maybe it's just me, but I was like, you think that that was their, you know, without getting political, because I never ever get political on this channel, and I'm not getting political here, but I'm saying maybe the game was that their little, you know, support Ukraine message, that particular truck. Like, did they put a truck in the game? And, you know, you could say, oh, that's just the brand of the truck. Yeah, but they made it up. They made that brand look like, it doesn't matter. I'm not making a comment either way. I saw that and I was like, I wonder if that's like a low-key political message in the game. Maybe, maybe not. Either way. But we are headed back on the road. We got about 100 miles, just over 100 miles to go. That was a cool little scenic stop there. And now we're, yeah, I guess that was a mountain pass we were going over because we're going down looks like we're going down the other side now, basically. Yeah. Some downhill action here. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah, that car looked like it was going much slower than me. Willow Creek. Is the name, is that the name of a creek we're passing, or is that the name of the town? Well, we're coming into a town, so could be the name of the town. Yeah, this just straight up looks like we're up in the mountains of Oregon here. But yeah, you know, we're so close. But we are going this way. 299, that's the road we're on. We're on 299. It's big road construction equipment. Redding, I didn't see the distance. But, well, we know how far we've got. We've got a little less than 100 miles to go now. Where we're going, though, but we might hit Redding before that. It's hard to say. I think our delivery is going to a point south of town. I looked at the map briefly, and it looks like we're going to town, and then we're heading kind of south. Anyway, our speed limit's back up to 55 here. As we get away from the coast and into the mountains some. And as I was making that remark about that truck trailer in the cutscene, I was thinking to myself, where is SCS Software based? I think they're based in the Czech Republic, aren't they? I think so. I think the makers of this game, yeah, I think they're from the Czech Republic, which I've never been there. And 35 miles an hour. Slow down. Got a little town here. I like going through these little towns. I like the places in the game where you go down the curvy roads and then you go through the little towns like this. And yeah, so basically this is exactly what I was expecting to see today. Curvy roads, small towns, lots of coastline. Yeah, it's not disappointed. It's been a very beautiful drive. Very, very beautiful drive. It has not disappointed. It's exactly what I expected. Also, a little bit on the longer side of deliveries. But just look at these beautiful views here of the forests and everything. Douglas City, something, flat road. Just reading the signs. Yeah, I love all the small town America vibe that you get in places like this. Yeah, very cool. Specifically not what you consider California views up here. Yeah, specifically very, very much Oregon as we get farther north. It's so cool. Redding, I missed another sign for Redding, but again, we know how far we're going. We got about 50 miles, 60 miles-ish. And I'm seeing a lot of cops. I mean, besides the one that gave us the ticket, we just passed some on the side of the road, and then there's another one, and there's another one right there on the left. There's another cop. There's a lot of cops here. Right as I was saying that. Man, we gotta get over here. Speed limit is back up to 55. Oh, but there's this. I had just set my cruise control, and I was just getting my myself settled in the seat, and it's like, oh no, back down to 30 something for this turn. Oh, but yeah, we got a lot of turns. So, I mean, I like roads like this partly because you kind of have to be a little more aware. You do. Yeah. There's a lot of cool stuff to see. Lots of cool stuff to see out here. I saw how curvy the road was on the map. I knew what I was getting into. Yeah, I'm not sure, but I think Redding might have been where we started this at. Seems right. And I don't know if this is the last part of this tour or not. I really want to build this other truck, though. I really want to have cool ideas for an old school Kenworth. But I really like this truck. I built this truck to kind of be my main cruising truck. And maybe, well, it still can be, but I want to drive I think I want to drive a Kenworth for a video or two. So maybe we can swap to the Kenworth and still do California a little bit. There's probably still stuff to see here. I mean, it's a big, big state. See, I was also thinking about doing a Texas road trip. In fact, I think that's what I was pitching before I came here, was Texas. But then the thing is, see, my garage headquarters for the trucking company is in Washington, and I was driving south out of Washington, and I was like, oh, you know what? Instead of Texas, let's do California. But yeah, I was planning on doing a Texas road trip. Maybe, well, we can always come back to California. Maybe with the Kenworth, we take that on the drive through Texas. I don't know. All ideas are cool. 30 miles an hour. We must be in Redding here. Yeah, this is Redding. But we're going a little bit south of town. It's what it looks like to me. Now, are we turning here? No. Turning to the next one, I think. Yeah, we're turning right here. We're going south. Is this a weird intersection, or is it just me? I think it's just me, but the intersection looks like it looks off. Like it's not, it looks like it's off center or something. I don't know. It does look weird. I think it's because that road is like behind the stoplights. Yeah, it's like off center. Am I gonna hit that curb, am I? Maybe I bumped it. Okay, and then we got some zigging and zagging to do up here. It looks like there are these streets. More stoplights. Yeah, we're gonna have a lot of stoplights. Like basically, look at that. We are going up here. We're turning right for one block so that we can turn left and then left again and then right. Yeah. I wonder why. Can we not go straight? I mean, can I not just go straight through this? You think that's a bad idea? No, I can't. Yeah, I physically can't. All right. For some reason, we've got to go right here, minding the traffic on the sides of the road. Cars parked there. If I didn't whack that. No, I would know if I whacked a car with my trailer. Yeah, we would know. But you got to watch it on these turns. That because I'm pulling a fairly long trailer behind me. We've got to make sure that we're keeping it clear of the cars on the side of the road and stuff, and any cars in the intersection. Okay, we're going straight through this, then we're turning left up here. Yeah, it's just so weird. It's having us like do this weird little, I don't know, like this weird turning thing through the city. Like, I feel like I'm like trying to lose the cops or something. It's like, now turn right, now turn left, then turn left again, turn left. Like there's this old wives' tale that the cops can't follow you through 3 left turns or something, like without pulling you over, which I think is probably partially true. Well, that's what I feel like I'm doing here. I feel like I'm like trying to evade the cops by making like 3 left turns in a row, but that's just what it's having us do. I don't know. But we are getting on this. Yeah, we're getting on this. This is taking us south of town, I guess, to where we're taking our road roller to. Yeah, we're out of that whole mess. Driving through those tight, city streets like that, you gotta be mindful that you're pulling a long trailer, because like any turn, any right turn, you gotta watch parked cars on the side of the road, and any left turn you have to watch cars sitting at the other side of the stoplight. You gotta watch where that trailer's at every second you're in a city like that. Those little tiny, like downtown areas, tricky pulling a trailer through that. But the original route for this delivery did not take us through that town. The original route took us up mostly highways and interstates, on the inner part of California, not along the coast. It's because of, right? Now, that said, and in light of all this, like this whole trip, which has been very cool, ATS, American Truck Simulator, they have been advertising there's this new DLC, and the whole focus of it is road tripping and cars. They're adding cars to the game. Now, of course, cars exist in the game in the form of mods. There's plenty of mods that let you drive cars. But, SCS software themselves are adding a dedicated road trip mode with licensed vehicles, Dodge cars and trucks. There's going to be like a Viper and there's some old muscle car. I don't know. I didn't really look at it very closely. It's going to be cool. I'm going to play it. I already wishlisted it. I get all the DLC for this game. This game has a ton of DLC. The thing is, over the last however many years I've played the game, I've just bought it all, and so it's not much to buy one at a time. Anyway, I buy all the DLC. I'll be buying that road trip DLC, but cool places like this, which are a pain to drive a semi through, it'll be cool because you'll have cars and stuff. They might add more touristy and road trip kind of destinations and things like that, which I think is cool. I play the game not just to drive a truck, but for the whole road trip, vibe, which I've always liked in games, and few games have done it well at all. The game prior to this that I played for that road trip vibe was The Crew 2. The Crew 2 was a cool racing game because it was an open world recreation of the United States. Very cool. But nowadays the graphics are just so dated, it's pretty bad to look at. But yeah, before this game, I played The Crew 2. Yeah, The Crew 2 for that road trip vibe. This does it way, way better. All right, so we're parking up there. This might be a pull-through spot, but to be honest, it's so tight a turn, I think it'd be easier to back into it, but we'll see. Sometimes they block the spot with stuff so you can't pull through. Yeah, there's a dump truck bed in the way. No worries. Although sometimes this is hard to back into. The last time we backed into one of these spaces, they had something parked like perfectly in the way of where my truck cab needed to be. No, nothing in the way of the truck cab here. No, the space for where the truck cab has to be is perfectly clear. but there's not a whole lot of headroom. So we're going to have to cut it into a pretty tight thing going back. See if I can get enough room for the... Yeah, we'll just wing this. Just wing it a little bit. Oh, we're cutting it. Oh no, oh no, 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 no. Darn it. Sorry, something fell off my dashboard. You know that can happen in real life? Yeah. Yeah. My simulation is so realistic, I have stuff sitting on my dashboard. I actually do, and something fell off. So. Alright, finally we're where we need to be. I had to cut a bunch of that out. I never cut stuff out of my backing jobs, but this one was just incredibly hard. I'm cutting it back in where I said that because I could tell, okay, now we've got it. I didn't have it for a long time. I don't know why. I let this one get in my head, but we got it. Yeah, I never cut these down, but whatever. There's no need to watch me like mess up. I messed up for a minute there. Well, I got distracted. Actually, something fell off my dashboard, hit me in the leg, and then I had to correct again, and then I had to correct again. And this was a painful backing job, which I'm still continuing to make it difficult. There. And now swing the cab in. There. Jeez, yeah. Sometimes. Well, anyway, but it was a fun drive. The backing was not the best, but well, it was because we got it in the place there. It just took me a couple of adjustments. Anyway, so that was our little road trip there up the California coast. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. It's really pretty and everything like that. So here's one of the things I'm talking about. So we have to add points here. I can't skip this. And as you can see, I'm trying to avoid the fuel economy. I put 3 points in it, and then I decided, no, I don't want to put points in that. That's stupid. Why would my fuel economy get better? You know, these are video game mechanics. So I'm going to put another point here. I'm trying to avoid this because I don't like it. Anyway, yeah, I run the game as tight simulation as I can. Simulated fuel, simulated brakes, simulated, you know, everything. I use the steering wheel, everything that I can, and then so I try to keep it that way. Anyway, so that was a very, how long was that? That's not the longest video. Yeah, it wasn't that long. It was longer. Very scenic drive up the coast of California. I have cool ideas for a new truck, which I'll probably drive next. I want to drive an old school truck. I'm going to keep this as kind of probably like the main, I want this to be kind of the main truck I drive. This is a really good, smooth truck. So I take it as like kind of the main thing. But the truck, there's this W900 that I have that, well, I want to do some more work to it. But yeah, basically, this guy right here, I like the old school look. See, we have the old school like headlights. I'm going to take off some of the chrome. I want to de-chrome it some. I don't want it to look as much like a show truck. I want it to look like an old school Kenworth. So we'll probably do away with the brush guard on the front. I like those old school round headlights. We'll go with an old school dashboard. We'll take off the GPS. We'll get rid of some of the chrome. I just want it to look a little more, I don't know, but I'm going to be modifying this guy here and using, I think I have the old dashboard though. Yeah, I got the old dashboard. What we'll do is we'll take off the GPS, which, oh yeah, that's right there. That is, yeah, we'll take off the GPS and old school truck drive. Anyway, that'll probably be, anyway, guys, thanks for coming along with me today. Tell me what you think in the comments down below. I always read the comments and reply. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.